going to be getting into some of the things that have been going on collectively behind the scenes. Some of the setups, some of the spiritual warfare, some of those kind of things. And we are going to be seeing what the ancestors have to say about all this stuff today. So, I'm going to turn this around. And hopefully you guys are seeing where I'm wanting to show. There we go. So, we have cooking up a plan. Sacrificial lamb. By the way, I did not pick these cards myself. I just stuck my hand in the bag, and of course everybody who watches this channel regularly should know that already anyway, but we have this beautiful seahorse. What's funny about the female seahorses, they're exactly the opposite of the female humans. In the seahorse world, the female is almost like the male of the human world, and vice versa. The male is the one who takes care of the offspring, things like that. Balance, harmony, peace, friendship, relationship, healing, coming together, switching of roles. You are doing an amazing job. This beautiful little raven with a skull for a head. Abracadabra, bee. I want to reach out and grab you. And then there's this guy. So, abracadabra, I want to reach out and grab you. Some of you could definitely have been dealing with somebody that was stalking you, or somebody that was, hi Jackie, nice to see you. Somebody that was setting you up could have been something as well. For some of you, you might actually be asked to work with someone in some way to expose things as well. You were always meant to be a sacrificial lamb. The funny thing is, when it comes to sacrificial lambs, 9 times out of 10, they are sat there so people will attempt to take them out, but they're protected in their purity. It's kind of like when Daniel went into the den of lions. He went in there, he sat with those lions, and he came out just fine. You are very protected in the work that you do, and you're doing an amazing job. There could definitely be people that have been cooking up a plan for a while now. A plan to roast you, or a plan to set you up in some way, or a plan to take you out in some way. I feel like a lot of this triggered this very strong sense of peace, balance, harmony, healing within yourself. It also triggered you to come together with people that represented true friendship. We have the Mermaid of Immersion, Complete Commitment, 44. New Moon in Capricorn, Step Up and Lead. So, what's funny about that? 44 is the number that represents the person that I'm seeing. And boy, there's complete commitment between both of us in this situation. He's also a Capricorn. This is a very new energy in my life, and I feel like a lot of you are coming into situations that are very new energy in your life as well. You are dealing with some people that are actually on your team, that are actually on your side, that are actually loyal, dedicated, committed. You are gaining an actual support system and support network, one that is real and one that is not fake or an illusion. Sounds legit. Your life story, the sacrificial lamb. The funny part is, I kept being urged to go through these pictures that my dad left behind again. And it was right after I was getting messages of being a sacrificial lamb a few months ago. And it was said something about never turn your back on a lion kind of thing. So there's a picture of me sitting in my grandfather's lap, and there's a lion sitting on the table right next to that, facing us. There are lions that are there to protect you. And people should not turn their back on those lions, because those lions work for the Most High. They work for our guardians, for our protectors. They're on our side. Even if those people think that those lions will devour us, those lions aren't going to devour us, because those are our protectors. Oh, so anyway, I'm going through those pictures more. And there's a picture of me on the floor in front of the TV. And the very next picture behind it, on the TV, it's like zoomed in on the TV. And I can't remember, it said something about sacrificial lamb. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it said something in words about sacrificial lamb. So, Beauty and the Beast. You need space in a relationship. So, there's a need for space in a relationship right now. This space is going to be orchestrated by the universe. And this space is occurring so that both of you can align with your path, and also so that your commitment can be tested. So that you can come into balance, peace, and harmony in a situation as well. A vacation is definitely something that is needed and necessary at this time when it comes to the connections you have in your life. Whether it be friendships, partnerships, relationships. Last quarter moon in Aries, work through your feelings. And this space is coming in and required because it's time to work through your feelings. It's time to be able to get in your own energy, your own space, your own feelings, so that you can connect more fully with what those are. I want to reach out and grab you. So let's see what else we got here. Thank you guys, by the way, for whatever support you send this way. The likes, shares, comments, subscribes, donations, purchases, the gifts you send me on Amazon, anything that anybody does to support this channel or my work. I really appreciate it, and it really does help me to be able to take care of the things that I need to take care of in my life, as I'm here to help you guys work through some of the things in your lives. So thank you to those of you who give back. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out far more than you guys know. Just the little things that you guys do make such a big difference. I'll put it this way. There's been a few times I've thought about it, because there's been a lot of points over the last couple of years where the sacrifices that I've made to be here, to be a leader for you guys, has put me in a very precarious position financially. So there's been a lot of times where I've actually thought about it, and I'm, if every person that was subscribed to this channel sent me $1, just one, it would literally solve 90% of the financial problems I have currently, because that would be enough to cover everything I needed to cover. So when you're thinking that whatever you're doing is too small, don't feel like whatever you're doing is too small, because every single little tiny thing helps in whatever way it does, whether it be liking, sharing, subscribing, any of that. Because each and every person that does that makes a very strong difference, even if they don't feel like it. Virgo, your voice is an inspiration. The words that you speak bring hope and joy and peace to others, especially those in your family. There could be some family things going on right now between you and a sibling. There could be some family things going on between you and a child, or you and a parent. We have Pisces and Aquarius as well. If you have lost a father, he wants to let you know that he is looking over you, guiding you, protecting you, watching out for you from the other side. Yeah, protected. You are protected. You might be the sacrificial lamb, but you are very protected. Abracadabra, your new necklace is going to help with that spiritual alignment. Your boyfriend bought a Moldavite necklace for you, and you had it wrapped and made into a necklace. Definitely working. So glad that is working for you. Moldavite is a very good crystal for that too. I've made those protection amulets for people, actually. Let's see what he had to say. JJ's a mistake. I figured it was. Italian opera singing voice. So the gift of sacred sight, and this actually just came out in the last reading as well, in pile 2, I think it was. So you guys may want to go check out what's coming in the near future for you. And if you did watch pile 2 in that reading and you're here right now, you are one of those people where a lot of things are going to be coming out of the closet. A lot of things are going to be seen. A lot of things are going to be exposed. A lot of things are going to be making sense very much in the near future. And a lot of that's because you're releasing your blocks. First quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. You're letting go of feeling like you are never going to make it, feeling like you're never going to level up, feeling like everything's blocking your way or everything's blocking your path, or feeling like the damage that people are trying to do is actually going to work. Instead of placing your faith in these people, you're placing your faith in something higher. And you are believing in your destiny, believing in your purpose, and you're moving forward at a very rapid rate because of this. The World, the Magician, and the Ace of Stakes. So, what's being exposed is how you've been there for others, how you've been the protector. People may have thought that you were a lamb, but in all actuality, under that lamb clothing is that sheep. And what that's reminding me is there's something called chicken nugget, and it's like CHKKNNUGIT or something like that. They do shorts on YouTube, and there's one of them that is a sheep and wolf's clothing. Instead of a wolf and sheep's clothing, it's a sheep and wolf's clothing. So there are those people who appear to be wolves who are actually sheep, but there are those people who appear to be sheep who are actually wolves. And you know what's funny about that? Everybody thinks that the wolf's the evil one. Think about wolves for a minute. Wolves are the shepherds. If it wasn't for the wolves, the sheep wouldn't be protected, because wolves created dogs. Wolves became the friends of humans. Wolves became the protectors. Wolves became the watchers, and they watched over those that were innocent and defenseless. They were the leaders. They were the shepherds. And you might just be a wolf. They may have thrown you to the wolves, but they didn't realize that you were going to come back leading the pack, because you are a wolf. You were born and raised with wolves. And you may have been the scapegoat when you were born and raised with those wolves. But just because people thought they could bury you doesn't mean you wouldn't crawl out of that grave. You sign just fight just doesn't mean a thing. She ain't got that swing. Thanks for noticing. She's pretty well with fiends from hell, but lately we can tell she's just going through the motions, faking it somehow. She's not even half the girl she out. Will I stay this way forever? Sleepwalk through my life's endeavor. How can I repay whatever? I don't wanna be going through the motions. So DMT just also came to mind. Some of you could be getting ready to go on a spiritual journey using ayahuasca. NY, New York. KA. What's funny about New York coming up is somebody had this hat with New York on it, and I don't know why it stood out to me so much, but that's one of the symbols for that person. And this guy here actually reminds me and looks a lot like that person. Plus, he's actually living on an island now. So that could have something to do with somebody here as well. There's definitely some signs coming forward. DM. There could be an instant message that you're receiving from somebody. MIL, missing, milkman. Somebody could be finding out that one of their parents is not their parent. JTB, bat, cat, Katie, Cam, By the way, Kat and Cam are both with K. Tab, Tan, Tap, tapping in, Tim, Limited, Limelight, Lamb. We have Lamb here, Lamb, Lamb. Spilled milk. There's no use crying over, no use crying over, no use crying over spilled perfume. Display. You're going to be displaying a lot of your gifts. You're going to be showcasing them. You're going to be putting them out in the world. And I feel like pins and needles. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you have been very nervous about this for a long time. And a lot of that comes from the past lives, or a lot of that comes from our ancestors, because the wisdom, the knowledge that they picked up on was if you express these things, if you expose these things, if you put these things out in the public, you die. But instead of burning you, those flames make you stronger. You have eternal life. You're no longer going to be fearing death. Not gonna drown in the water, 'cause the good Lord ain't bringing me home. Dim. People could have definitely been trying to dim your light, especially through gossip or drama. Simulation. Rob a Bank is a good song. Some of you might want to go check that out. Nike. Naked. Yeah, you're going to be exposing yourself and the naked truth, everything about you and who you are, instead of being so stuck in feeling like you can't express yourself or you can't be yourself. Some of you are actually getting ready to move into a new home as well, or to be remodeling, renovating, or decorating your new home, possibly even having a very large part in building your new home. Lips of an angel, hearing those words, it makes me weak. Let it die, never wanna say goodbye. But darling, make it hard to be faithful with the lips of an angel. Any? Span. You know, everyone tells you to spay and neuter your pets, 33. But here's the thing, okay? If every single person on this planet spayed and neutered their pets, what the fuck pets would our kids and grandkids have? All because humans are greedy and there's not enough room for those animals on this planet. Well, maybe there's not enough room for any more people on this planet, just saying. Technically, we are the biggest parasite on this planet, because what does a parasite do? Oh yeah, that's right. It feeds off of everything around it until it destroys it, and it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies, kind of like the Christian world tells you to do. Funny story, your dad used to have you say that I was the milkman's daughter whenever people asked where I got my beautiful blonde hair. My niece's father used to think that she was the milkman's daughter. Actually, in fact, he ended up spending a month on the couch because of it. He ended up spending a month on the couch, and my sister got pregnant. And that's what he was saying about it. And my mom's like, are you kidding me? You're telling me during that month on the couch, there wasn't one time that you guys slept together. Not one time that you snuck back into that bed. And he's like, well, there was once or twice. And she's like, all it takes is once to get her pregnant. So some of you might actually be finding out as well that somebody might have gotten a pregnancy test, or somebody might have gotten a pregnancy test. Somebody might have gotten a DNA test done to find out whether or not you were their child, and they were basically, it was proven that you were their child. Delight. Light, L-I-T-E, light bright. Somebody could have had a light bright when they were a kid. It could have been something that you had a lot of fun with. Somebody might want to actually get a light bright and kind of tap into that inner child some more. There's definitely a need here for you to tap into your inner child, to be in a state of joy, peace, happiness, love, light, to be able to make it through a lot of this stuff that's going on. When Buffy finally made it to that prom, which she really didn't even think she was going to get to make it to, she finally decided to do something fun and something that normal kids are doing and do something just for her. And it was almost completely destroyed by the assholes that were attacking her yet again. But she managed to make it through that fight, and she managed to make it to that cafeteria, and or to that gym, and she managed to have her fucking prom. And it's a damn good thing she did, because when she got there, they were doing a ceremony where they were giving out awards to all the students who achieved great things. And she was sitting there thinking about how, wouldn't it be nice if she was one of the people that could be called up to that stage? But because she spent the last 3 or 4 years of her life doing all this other stuff, she didn't have the chance to complete those things. She didn't have the chance to participate in those things. Those things that she used to value so much kind of became a memory of the past, and they kind of became pale in comparison to the things that she found to be important. Her priorities had shifted, had changed. And a lot of your priorities have shifted and changed. You've become very different people than you once were. But there are still parts of yourself that like to experience certain things from your past that you kind of need to give some time to, that you kind of need to tap into again. You need to enjoy your life again a bit. But anyway, they made a new category that year. They made a category for the class protector. And they made that category specially for her. So a lot of you could have felt outcasted. A lot of you could have felt like you didn't belong. A lot of you could have felt like what you had to offer wasn't valued, wasn't recognized, wasn't cherished by the people around you. But I feel like a lot of you are about ready to be shocked, surprised, blown away by how much people notice you, recognize you, believe in you, love you. You may have a lot more people coming to you for certain things that you're very skilled in. A lot more people recognizing you. Some of you may even have like a surprise party or an award ceremony that you end up attending where you end up being recognized for your skills and your gifts. You are manifesting in a lot of new inspiration in your life. A lot of new creativity. Fast movement. Ideas. Some of you could be inventing something that is going to really change and shift the way that people think about certain things or do certain things. It may change the world altogether. Kind of like when they invented the, what's it called, where, I can't think of that. Whatever that method is where you got the like line of people, and they put everything together like one piece at a time. Which is funny because that's making me think of An American Christmas Carol, which, by the way, you can watch on YouTube free. That's my favorite version of Christmas Carol. And that guy did not want to do that because it wasn't as quality, you know? I feel like a lot of you are coming up with some sort of quality way of doing something as well. You have all the skills, all the tools, all the knowledge, all the wisdom, all the emotion, the communication skills, everything that you need to be able to manifest this brand new beginning into your life. An ending of the old and new doors opening. And there's definitely some new doors that are going to be opening. A lot of what's going to be being exposed to you is how much people look up to you, how much inspiration you bring them, how much you shift their perspectives and their ideas, how much you affect their understanding, and how much people really appreciate and value you. That's a lot of what's going to be being exposed in the near future for this group. Yes, you're going to be receiving praise. You're going to be receiving acknowledgement. 3 of Wands. Everything that you've waited for and prayed for is coming in for you. And a lot of this is because you are manifesting it in your prayers, your rituals, your meditation sessions. Say you're happy now, once more with feeling. Bunnies are just cute like everybody supposes. They got them hoppy legs and twitchy little noses. And what's with all the carrots? What do they need such good eyesight for anyway? Bunnies, bunnies, it must be bunnies. Some people could have thought that you were crazy for your ideas or beliefs. It could be a demon, a dancing demon. No, something isn't right there. What's funny is Giles was completely doubting himself in that moment on what he was thinking about what it could be. And the funny thing is, that's exactly what it was. So whatever you were doubting in the past, you're realizing now that this is what it was. And now that all these emotions have been exposed, now that all of these ideas have been exposed, now that everything has come out, you're going to be asking yourself, am I really happy with what's going on? With the way things are? With what I've created? And when you aren't happy with what you've created, you're realizing that it's your world and you can create what you want to create. So you're going to paint a whole new picture. A whole new picture that is completely different from the past. In a lot of areas, that's what you're going to be doing. And in some areas, you're going to be framing that picture going, this is exactly how I want it. And this is what I love. And look at that. I created it. So, definitely protected, though, especially by your ancestors. Your ancestors want to let you know that they are there for you. And even those people that you've helped along the way that you have lost, they also want to let you know that as well. I hope you're dancing in the sky. Have you guys heard the song Dancing in the Sky? If you've heard the song Dancing in the Sky, there is actually a reply from heaven, from the angel's perspective. You guys should look that song up because it's beautiful. I'm watching you from here in heaven, and the only thing missing in heaven is you. Trust the universe and open up to change, because changes are coming in whether we like it or not. Change is inevitable. The only variable is rate. Metamorphosis from Aura to Prophet. Aura to Prophet is an amazing group as well. They do a lot of spiritual songs. They do a lot of new age things. So, put the pedal to the floor. We have this jackrabbit. Whether it's unbelievable or not, it is real. The jackrabbit represents that for me because there's a lot of people who do not believe in the jackrabbit. And the jackrabbit is an actual thing. It is a rabbit with a rack of, I want to say horns, but it's not horns. It's whatever the fuck elk have. Missing piece, incomplete. Sleeping. Time to wake up. It's time to wake up. And some of you need to rest as well because maybe you've been pushing yourself too hard and it could be affecting your mental state. It could be affecting your emotions. There could also be somebody in the past who is talking about you being crazy or trying to convince people that you are mentally unstable or something along those lines. You could have definitely dealt with a narcissist who really fucked with your mentality in some way as well. You are meant for more. You are meant for bigger. You're meant for a lot. And you've had to go through a lot so that you can handle a lot. You've also had to go through a lot so you can learn about it. Because knowledge comes from books, but wisdom comes from experience. And so the experiences that you've experienced, That is what's really going to be flourishing. Somebody may have slept on something or someone as well. Piano teacher, child molester. That's something that's coming to mind right now. By the way, Ginger, 1980, Arizona. I actually did a lot of studying up on that case earlier this year. So as that person has commented on my channel, that's what it's reminded me of. Because if you guys look up Ginger 1980 Arizona, you'll find a woman that was brutally murdered and all they found was her arms. At least I'm pretty sure that's the one because I've researched a lot of them. Somebody could be feeling very incomplete. Somebody could be feeling incomplete over the loss of you. Or somebody, once again, okay. So now we got this bunny here too. And bunnies aren't just cute like everybody supposes. They got them hoppy legs and twitchy little noses. And what do they need such or good eyesight for anyway? What's with all the carrots? Somebody could be trying to convince people that your gifts are evil, that you are evil because of your gifts, that you have too much power. They could have been trying to convince you in some way that you were evil because of who you are or what you believe. Manipulative and narcissistic, did a lot of mental damage. Yeah. There's missing pieces to this story, and there's missing pieces to this puzzle. I feel like your dreams are very important in this too, because this is reminding me of actually a Sagittarius that was an ex as well. And there's been a few dreams that I've had about that person. This person could live their life in a way where they kiss everyone's ass, where they come off very perfect, where they really feel like they have to be a certain way, or no one will love them. I've talked about this a lot on this channel. A lot of times narcissists, that's what it is. They were trained to believe that they need to lash out at others and they need to attack others before they attack them. They were trained to believe that empathy is a weakness. They were trained to believe that they need to be perfect or no one will ever love them. And so they have a tendency to scapegoat everyone around them, to blame everything on everyone else so that they come off looking good, because they feel like nobody would be there if they knew the real them, if they knew what a monster they were, because they do believe that they're a monster. And that's where a lot of that comes from. When you believe you're evil, you're evil. There was actually this kid that was working at the gas station here and he was gay. He was a fucking ball of light. I mean, I really enjoyed that kid and his energy. But he had an extremely dark side too. And a lot of it came from the fact that his mom put him through conversion therapy twice. 3322. She thought he was evil. And so did the church. And so he thought that he was evil. His grandmother, after the second time he was put through conversion therapy, adopted him. Because there was no way in hell she was going to let that happen to him again. Because she didn't think he was evil. But it doesn't matter what she thought. 33, 44, 33. Didn't matter what she thought. Because that's what he thought. Wonder what, say, Jeffrey Dahmer thought about himself. Wonder why he became the person that he was. Maybe a lot of it had to do with how evil he thought he was. So a lot of you are going to be coming up with new ideas, new ways of understanding things, new insight into situations. And a lot of this is because of the experiences you've gone through and the wisdom and knowledge that you have picked up along the way. Because I feel like a lot of you, it's not just the wisdom, but you've also done your own research as well. You've came to your own conclusions from this mixture of the wisdom and the knowledge. Something to do with your kids. So we got the Six of Cups, the Devil, Justice, and the Ten of Wands. There is a lot of good getting ready to come into your life for the hard work that you have put in. You have put in a lot of hard work. You put in a lot of time, a lot of effort. Even when my feet get tired, I will keep on moving higher. I'm the story you don't speak of. I'm the one they call the underdog. 'Cause every time the push comes to shove, I'm climbing over you to reach the top. 'Cause I want everything or nothing at all. Yeah, I want everything or nothing at all. I want everything or nothing, 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 nothing at all. You are going to be facing a lot of things inside yourself and inside the world around you. You're going to be healing a lot of inner wounds. You're going to be healing your inner child. You're going to be really fighting through a lot of things. And things are going to be turning around for you. What is being exposed is the hard work that you've put in, the time, the effort, the energy. What's being exposed is the good memories that were maybe manipulated or twisted or hidden in the background. What's being exposed is how much love you have given and poured out on certain people or situations in your life, and the imbalance of what was given back. What's being exposed is the joy that people feel when they're around you and in your presence. There could also be some injustices in the law that are being exposed as well. And these go back for a long time. These aren't just with you. There's going to be a lot of people vindicated in certain situations. Just got your payment, beautiful. You can throw your question down there anytime, and I will answer it in between the messages. And thank you, by the way. Thank you to anybody who does anything to support this channel or my work. Snake Princess, the serpentine path to power, embracing your dark side. Snakes aren't evil either. As much as people want to believe that snakes are evil, you want to know what's really funny? 33. Once again, we're going to go into how evil people are, because what's really funny here, rattlesnakes, they used to rattle when you came near them. They used to hiss and rattle and make a bunch of noise. They used to alert you to their presence because they were defending their territory or whatever. Now they hide. You want to know why they hide? Because we've killed so many of them that they know better than to come out of that bush. They stay hidden, which is actually a lot more dangerous. So, are rattlesnakes evil? I don't think so. They're just busy trying to defend themselves and their homes, their families. But sometimes you have to be a snake to defend your home and your family. Sometimes you have to shed that skin and become a whole new you in order to defend your home and your family. A beautiful little worm. Take care of yourself. Snow White and her animal friends. You inspire trust and confidence. You may be somebody who spends a lot of time with animals, a lot of time with children. Children and animals may love you very much. They may come to you when they feel afraid, or when they feel lost, or when they feel hurt. They may come to you for care and love. They may come to you for healing. So anything that anybody has to say about you where they're trying to convince people that you're evil, no one's going to believe that. Just like I don't believe that snakes are evil. It doesn't matter how many times people try to convince me of it. Wolves aren't evil. Snakes aren't evil. Sharks aren't evil. There's only one animal on this earth that kills things for absolutely no fucking reason, and it's a human being that has sick, sadistic, twisted ways of thinking and doing, and it's a human being. Got your payment, beautiful. Let's see. I wanted to get guidance from Spirit on your next steps. So, guidance for your next steps. We've got the beautiful ferrets. I am reborn. First quarter moon in Scorpio. Release your blocks. So there's something blocking you. Some sort of preconceived notion. Some sort of past event or past way of thinking or believing is blocking you. You may be limiting yourself by feeling or thinking that you cannot achieve something in particular, or by worrying too much about the jealousy or the negativity or the dislike of other people. About people thinking that you're sneaky could be something as well, or about people thinking that you stole something or you didn't get things in a proper way, or whatever the case may be, or that you didn't work hard enough for whatever it is. It's time to step up and to allow yourself to be seen, allow yourself to win. There could also be something to do with your transportation as well, or where you're moving or how you're moving. There could be something about daydreaming about certain things, wanting certain things, but not actually taking action to achieve those things. There's a need to look in the mirror and to realize that a lot of what you're fighting is yourself. I am my own worst enemy. I'm a hazard to myself. Don't let me get me. So there could be some self-sabotaging behaviors that you need to address. Every day I fight a war against the mirror. Can't stand the person staring back at me. So you may also need to address how you feel about certain traits that are within you. It's time to look at what you consider to be your shadow parts, to accept them, acknowledge them, love them, and find them to be beautiful. Because those shadow parts are what's going to get you to the next level. Those shadow sides. Goes very strongly with today's message as well. There may be a competitive side of your nature. There may be a drive to win, and you might actually feel very ashamed of this side of your nature. There could be something within you as well about jealousy or envy of others. There's enough for everyone. So it's time to believe that you can achieve too. And just because somebody else is achieving doesn't mean there isn't room for you. You also need to start asserting your boundaries more fully, especially when it comes to competitive or jealous people in your life and the way that they may treat you, especially when it comes to dealing with emotionally immature people or people who try to emotionally manipulate you in some way. Oh, you're so mean because you didn't do this for me, or something like that. You know, it's time to start addressing some of those situations and being like, hey, where were you when I needed you? It's a two-way street. People are like, oh, you're so mean because you stopped talking to me. Well, you know what? I talked to you for years. I reached out to you for years, and you never talked to me. You never reached out to me. You never cared. But now you're going to say I'm mean because I walked away. I'm not mean for walking away. I'm not mean for focusing on other situations and putting energy into other situations that were actually giving back to me too. So those are definitely some things that you need to work on and deal with within yourself. Assess the situation, first moon in Virgo, and take a breather, last quarter moon in Cancer. Take a breather and don't feel guilty about it. The whole world is not going to fall apart if you step back for a minute and allow it to just be what it is. Brother Raccoon, a safe place for you to go. Time to say goodbye. Something is about to end for now. So there might be something that's getting ready to come to a close for now. Cycles that are ending. Things that are meant to be finished and over for the moment. But I feel like they're going to come back around later. And this could be a relationship with a certain person as well. Somebody that has not been feeding energy your way, but you've been feeding a lot of energy their way. It's going to end for the moment. And it's ending for the moment so that this person can really assess what you meant to them in their life and start being a little more grateful that you existed for them. Snow White and her animal friends, you inspire trust and confidence. So you inspire a lot of trust and confidence, and 73 is on the screen as well. Initiating these boundaries more and setting these limits a bit more is going to allow you to overcome a lot of the obstacles that you have been feeling have been weighing on you so deeply and so heavily. It's also going to cause you to learn a lot about who you really are, what you really want, where you want to go. Because sometimes when we are not initiating those boundaries in a healthy, appropriate, and proper way, a lot of what we're doing is not necessarily what we want to be doing or who we are even. And it's not that we're being fake, it's just that we are trying to be what other people need instead of who we actually are. 83. This hard work that you are doing is going to cause you to level up and achieve a lot in your life as well. It's going to be like the school of life, in a sense. So let's see what else is going to be being exposed. We got Brother Raccoon coming out again. What's going to be exposed is where is a safe place for you to go. By the way, I hope that really helped and answered your question as well. Quetzalcoatl and the Priestess of Time. The time has come. The time to act is now. Butterflies and gloom. After sadness, happiness and hope return. So after sadness and after pain and after loss, the happiness and joy is going to come back. The time to act is now. The time has come. The time has come for you to walk away from certain situations. And if you don't, the universe is going to move these situations out of your life for the moment, because they are meant to be out of your life for the moment. And it always goes much worse when we make the universe do it. But at the same time, sometimes that's what we got to do. It's kind of like there was one point in time where there was somebody asking for my help. And she was crying and she was in a lot of pain. She was in a lot of hurt, but she was also, I'm going to go with a psychopath. That's what she felt like. Or at least what people would consider one. There was a lot of telepathic connection there. And where she was actually like trying to control my energy and my feelings through that. And I caught on to it and was like, wait a second. Why am I feeling that? Is that her? And I didn't say it out loud. I was just thinking it. And she's like, yes, that's me. And I completely locked her out of my energy. And she's like, well, you don't have to go all sadist on me. And I was like, it's not sadist to be able to protect my energy from you, to be able to protect my thoughts from you, and do not allow you in. If you're going to abuse my energy, or you're going to try to plant thoughts and shit like that, or feelings and shit like that, then I should be doing that. Empaths can do that too once they learn how to do that. And anyway, so about a week later, she started crying and she's like, I really need your help. I don't want to be like this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore. And I was praying later and I was like, you know what? I'm going to help her. So if you don't want me to help her, you better fucking move her out of my life, because you know me and I'm going to help her. You put her in my life. She was put in my path. Apparently she's here for a reason, right? So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if you don't want me to, then you better make sure that she's moved out of my life. The next day she was gone and I never saw her or heard from her again. Ever. What's really funny is when I first met her, she actually reminded me of like me in the future, kind of almost thing. I don't know, because she looked a lot like me, but she was older, and her name was actually Dee, but it was spelled D-E-E. And yeah, there was a lot of things, especially considering she had been running across the country for a while at this point, away from somebody who had been stalking her, somebody that was extremely crazy. And yeah, I've dealt with a lot of shit like that myself too. But apparently I wasn't meant to help her. The universe will show you, and the universe will bring in what it's supposed to bring in and take out what it's supposed to take out, even if you don't take action. But sometimes you are guided to be the one to take that action. Because sometimes you do need to step up and you do need to protect yourself and defend yourself instead of just relying on the universe to do it for you. Because sometimes you need to be that lion, or sometimes you need to be that wolf instead of that sheep or that lamb. You are unlike anyone else. Your contradictions and complexities are interesting. And that's one of those contradictions. One of those contradictions would be having faith and allowing the universe to let things unfold naturally and to take care of things for you. But then at the same time, on the other side of that coin, sometimes stepping up and taking that action and not just relying on faith, but actually doing something yourself about it. That is a contradiction, but it's a contradiction that's needed. Just like the shadow side and the light side of every person is something that is needed. And developing that shadow side is just as important as developing that light side. Because when we do not acknowledge, or when we don't understand, accept, see that dark side within ourselves, that dark side comes out in much worse ways than it ever would have if we would have known that it existed and if we would have cherished and loved it. Think about, okay, there's that old saying by the Indians, you have two wolves inside of you. The one that you feed is the one that wins. No, it isn't. Not always. Think about a wolf that's locked in a cage, that's starved and ravenous. It hasn't been out in 100 years. And it's been waiting for its moment patiently. Waiting for its moment to strike. Waiting for its moment to eat again, finally. Do you think that wolf's going to win? Or do you think the one that's been pampered and loved and fed and gotten lazy over there is going to win? The one that's had to fight for itself. The one that's been caged. The one that's been locked up. The one that's ravenous. It has a reason to fight too. Because it's sure as fuck not going to get put back in that cage again. So think about that for a minute. It's not the one that you feed that wins. It's the one that you love and care for and cherish that actually becomes a valuable part of the team. So if you love, care for, nourish, understand, empathize with, respect all parts of yourself, then all parts of yourself are on your team. And all parts of yourself are going to listen to you, respect you, understand you, have compassion and empathy for you, and for everyone around you as well. And their shadow sides and their light sides. Instead of being so judgmental of you or others, it's time to start being less judgmental and more open-minded. More accepting, more loving. Little Red Riding Hood. I am not a victim. And really, she wasn't either. I mean, she sat and talked to that wolf. And even when she got to her grandmother's house and there was that wolf there, she knew it was a wolf. She called it out. She said, hey, wait a second. You're not my fucking grandma. I know this ain't my grandma. Who the fuck are you? And yeah, sure, the woodsman may have shown up at the right time to take the wolf out. Who knows what would have happened if he wouldn't have? Maybe she would have died. Maybe she would have found that power inside of herself, and maybe she would have been able to take him out all on her own. Who knows? Sometimes that happens. I mean, think about children who have to find their own way, who are left to their own devices, who don't have a helicopter parent around them all the time, but actually live with the opposite. It's amazing how much they can do. I'll put it this way. There was one time when I was about 7. There was these girls I was playing with at one point, and we had gotten in a fight with this other girl. And so we decided there's this berry bush near where we lived, and we all assumed it was a poison berry bush, you know, because our parents always tell us, oh, don't eat any of the berries, they're poisonous. And so we're going to make a poison berry pie. And I ended up talking to him and telling him, why don't we make a banana pie instead? And then we can take it to her as a friendship pie and we can all make up. Which, yeah, sounds like a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or a Barney type of thing. But you know what? Those were my favorite fucking things to watch when I was a kid. And actually, I still love Barney. I still kind of occasionally love Barney. But anyway. So we all, 7-year-olds, go back to one of their houses and nobody's there. And we all whip up this mix and dump it in this cake pan. And we made a banana cake at 7 years old with nobody else around. 3 7-year-olds mixed up a cake mix and baked a cake with no adults around. Why? Because they were used to doing stuff on their own. Because they watched, they learned, and they grew. So, sometimes you may wish that you might have had more support. You may wish that you had more people around who took the time to teach you. You may wish that you had more in a physical sense. But the reason that you are who you are and you have the strength, the wisdom, and the knowledge that you have is because of the hardship and the pain that you had to go through. Because you had to fight through everything to get to where you are. Because you became ravenous, and because it was very important for you, for your survival, for you to break out of those cages and break out of those chains. And you may not have broken out of those cages or broken out of those chains or freed yourself in any way if you would have been spoiled and pampered and had a silver spoon handed to you from the moment you woke up. Of course, they also fight their own challenges and they have their own hardships. They have their own things that they learn as well. So a lot of you, what's being exposed to you is that there's problems in every form or every situation or every life. And your life may seem like it's been extremely hard. But there's a lot of other people whose life seemed like they were easy, who had a hard life too. It was just in a different way from you. Some of them may have had somebody there to do everything all the time, so they have a hard time thinking. They have a hard time coming up with plans or ideas. They have a hard time overcoming obstacles. They have a hard time learning on their own. They always feel like they need somebody there to guide them because they always had somebody there to guide them. So they have a really hard time with being the leader in any situation. Those are some of the cons of being grown up in helicopter parent situations. Dragonling Garden, a new world is born. Full moon in Aquarius, be real. Once again, there's definitely some people in this reading right now who chose pile 2 and 3 from that last reading that I did. Reflect on your priorities. Last quarter moon in Aquarius. So, be real. Expose yourself. Put yourself out there. Reflect on what your priorities are, what's important to you, what you value, what your morals are, where you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to do. Reflect on those things, and then make those things a priority in your life. And stop giving away all of your energy, your time, and your effort to things that you aren't wanting to produce, that really aren't important to you. 6 of Wands. Ace of Wands. And the 5 of Cups. You're going to be having some new ideas and thoughts and understandings about what true success is and what it looks like. What's going to be being exposed to you is what goes on behind the scenes of success. Because you're going to be running into a lot of success and recognition in your life. But you know how you're going to get there? You're going to get here through this. You're going to get there through sweat, blood, tears, pain, hardship. You're going to be climbing that fucking mountain, and you're not going to be winning it off of motivational posters and constant positivity. Sometimes you're going to be screaming. Sometimes you're going to be angry. Sometimes you're going to be upset, and that's what's going to fuel you. That's what's going to motivate you and drive you. Nothing is going to be as perfect as it seems from the outside when you're looking at some of the other successful people around you. But that's also what's going to be different about you, because you're going to show that hardship. You're going to show the truth of what it means, what sacrifices you have to make to get there. And of course you are, because you're my collective. And that is who I am. Somebody that shows that. I don't try to make it look like I have everything in the world. I don't try to make it look like I'm some rich girl somewhere talking to you, because the only people who have value are people with money. And I don't tell you that the only people who have value are the ones with money either, because that isn't true. It takes a lot of sacrifices to gain success. It takes a lot of sacrifices to climb that mountain. It takes a lot out of you. And it takes a lot of having to reinitiate and re-trigger that inspiration and that motivation and that drive and that power. It takes having to come up with creative ideas for how to get through situations, for how to overcome situations. It takes a lot of belief and a lot of faith. And it takes a lot of trust in your own power as well. And there may be people that think that you got there magically somehow. Poof! You were just there. You didn't ever have to work for it. You didn't ever have to do anything for it. But guess what? Everybody has to work for that success. It's not just something that's handed to them. It's something that they had to put time, effort, energy, and everything else into. Just like me and just like you. The devil. Some of your darker parts are going to be seen, acknowledged, exposed. But you know what else is going to be exposed? The fact that you were able to harness that energy. The fact that you were able to balance it out. The fact that you were able to patiently work through the things that you were going through and that you were able to come out that other side. The fact that you had that patience, that commitment. The fact that blending this water and this fire together is what gave you the most strength. When it comes to temperance, the original place that temperance comes from is a blacksmith's forge, where they would heat up this weapon and then they would dunk it in this water and then they would beat the shit out of it. They would heat this weapon up, they'd beat the shit out of it, they'd dunk it in this water. And this water was ice cold. And they'd take this metal again and they'd put it in the fire and then they'd beat the shit out of it and then they'd put it in the water. And those extremes of temperature, those extremes of pressure, just like a diamond, coal becoming a diamond. How does it work? Pressure and extremes. All of those things create the most finely honed and finely tuned weapon that there is. So everything beautiful inside of you has came from those extremes. Some people may even say that you're bipolar. What I find really funny about that, some people will get in a mood and they'll stay in that mood for the next 3 months and they'll hold on to it and hold on to it with everything in their being. And that's normal. But it's not normal to be upset about something and then to be happy later that day because you've already worked through it. I would say that that is a very beneficial thing to be able to do. But some people would call it bipolar. Doesn't mean it is. Could be. I don't know. Both my parents were both bipolar. My mom had me tested once as a teenager, although I was not found to be bipolar. Then again, I was talked to by somebody for 5 minutes and he decided I wasn't bipolar. Like he even knew me, for one thing. For another thing, they didn't run any other tests. My mom was misdiagnosed as manic depressive for years and years and years. And she used to tell me all the time, "You're just like your father. You're just like your father." And what she meant is she thought I was bipolar. And then one day they told her, "You've been misdiagnosed as manic depressive this whole time, but you're actually bipolar." Huh. I guess it was you that was just like my father. And actually they were very, very, very similar in so many ways, which is part of the reason that they had such a hard time getting along. A lot of times you have a harder time getting along with those that you have extreme similarities with and a few major differences, but most of the time it's those extreme similarities that cause that rift. So what's going to be being exposed to you is your strength. I feel like a lot of you really don't see how amazing you are. really don't see how many transformations you've gone through, how much you've learned, how much you've grown, how much you've been able to handle on your own that would knock other people down in an instant. What's also going to be being exposed is the people around you that have been trying to stop you in some way, that have been fighting against this, or that have been sending evil eye your way. The people that have been performing spiritual warfare in some way are going to be being exposed as well, and you're being asked to be patient in this front. There might have actually been people that have been trying to push you into that depressed energy, trying to push you into that angry or negative energy, trying to push you into that dark side, trying to get you to join the dark side. You know what I mean? And these people are going to be being unmasked as well. And some of the situations in their life that have created that are going to be being unmasked. I feel like a lot of you, what's going to be being exposed more than anything is the reasons things have happened. The reasons people have behaved in certain ways. Yourself and others. What created that. How it happened. Why certain people attacked other people. What those people have done in the past. And also who those people are now. Because they're very different than they were in the past. How hard someone has fought to make it through this darkness and back to the light is going to be being exposed as well. Somebody has fought to prove to you that they love you. Somebody has fought to overcome their toxicities. Somebody has fought to overcome their addiction. Somebody has fought to sacrifice in some way to show you how committed they are to you. To show you that they could be there to provide and protect. To show you that they aren't who they were in the past. There is definitely some energy of that going on here. Because, once again, we are also talking about coming into union with someone. Total commitment. And total commitment means accepting the shadow and the light. Not just of you, but of other people. But you're only able to accept the shadow and light of other people if you've accepted it inside of yourself as well. 2 kittens you must choose. You inspire trust and confidence. The black cat. Lost magic. Atonement. Rebalance. Miss Spiderweb. Reconsider your alliances and make some new connections. So what's also going to be being exposed is who and what is good for you in your life. I feel like your instincts and your intuition are going to be being exposed as very on point as well. What's also going to be exposed is who's been protecting you in the background, who's been watching over you, what's been keeping some of the negative energies, entities, or darkness at bay. 55-55. There's going to be a lot coming out that hasn't been seen before. As soon as you release these blocks and detoxify yourself. So some of you are also fighting right now to pull yourself out of that darkness and to get back on your path. To stop doing things that other people want you to do and to start doing things that actually mean something to you. To provide and protect for someone else in your life. And to become that person that they need. That person that you needed. Queen of Stakes and Page of Stakes. To be an inspiration for those looking up to you. To show others how to get over that jealousy. To show others how to get through that energy of feeling less than. To also show others how to dive deeper. There's also a need to watch for arrogancy as you're doing this. Your sexual energy is something that is very strong. And your sexuality as well is something that's very strong. A lot of you may be sexual healers as well. And the way that you have helped others heal may be something that's getting ready to be exposed as well. And yes, sexual healers heal through sex very strongly, but you can heal others without that as well. Somebody asked me at one point in time why I don't offer sexual healing as one of my services. And they're like, I'm really not trying to offend you. I'm not, in any way trying to offend you, but why don't you offer that as one of your services? And I was like, because I'm not looking to be a prostitute, for one thing. For another thing, I can provide sexual healing with or without sex. 111. 04. 2004 could be important. It just requires more from the other party as well. It requires them to put into their healing a little bit, to work hard. Yeah, there could be a lot of competition over you. There could be a lot of competition over your skills, over your work. There could be some fights or some arguments that have to do with you. There could be some fights or arguments or competition in your community when it comes to working with you, or when it comes to getting your attention. You're going to be seeing things from a different perspective. You're going to be really looking at these fights or these arguments or this competition in a different way. Instead of feeling like it somehow looks bad on you, you're going to be feeling like this is because you've worked hard. This is because you have really risen to a level of success. This is because people are committed to you, loyal to you. This is because people appreciate you, value you. And you're also going to be noticing how much people want to give to you. And you're going to be seeing things from a very different perspective. That's where a lot of that jealousy comes from. That's where a lot of that competitive energy comes from. And you're going to be looking at it in a more pure way. You're going to be dealing with it in a more pure way. I got asked the other day not to come into the dollar store here when somebody in particular is working, again, for my own safety. And I was like, you know what? I looked for her vehicle. Didn't see it. But either way, it's kind of hard to stay away from somebody when they're driving past where you're at pretty regularly anyway. And she threatened to kill me like 2 months ago. Hasn't happened yet. And the reason that I looked for the vehicle isn't because I was afraid of going in there while she's there or anything. 11:22. It's because, honestly, I would like her to heal too. I don't want to cause drama or chaos in her life any more than I already have. Because, yeah, it is my bad for why she's upset with me. My bad and someone else's bad. And she should be just as upset with someone else as she is with me. And she isn't. She basically told me that I must have really low self-esteem and all kinds of other shit because I bought his lies or whatever the fuck. And I was like, you know what? I was the one who walked away. And I was the one who decided, I don't want this bullshit and drama in my life, and I don't want to deal with you and your shit. You were the one who stayed. So who's the one who has that low self-esteem and low confidence? I tried really hard to be peaceful about the situation and things like that, but guess what? Sometimes, no matter how hard you shoot for that, others don't want that. So, Frog Princess, heed wise counsel and listen. Elizabeth and the Lion. It's time to become a great leader. The fairy bee. My life is sweet. So instead of being the lamb, you are no longer the lamb. You have been initiated into the lions. You are now the lion that is there to care for the other lambs, that is there to watch over them and protect them and keep them safe. And yeah, the lion does have a dark side. It also has a light side. Think about the Lion King. Think about Simba when his dad is telling him the cycle of life. We all start out as a lamb, or we all start out as the sheep, and then we all become the shepherd over time. We all become that wolf or that lion that guides them and protects them and watches over them. We have to be trained to do that, though, because if we're left untrained, then we become the ravenous wolf or lion that is seeking to destroy instead of seeking to protect. So it also gives you less judgment over those that are the ravenous one. New moon in Pisces, attuned to the divine. New moon in Virgo, trust that all will be well. Have faith, have trust, and know that everything is working out exactly as it's meant to work out. You have nothing to fear. You have nothing to run from. You have nothing to hide from. This woman also told me that she was going to run around on Facebook and all over town and tell everybody everything and all kinds of other stuff. And I was like, you know what? Go right ahead. Because for months now, everybody that I love and everybody that I care about and everything that's important to me, they all already know anyway. They already know what happened. They already know what went on. They already know what I dealt with. They already know. So it doesn't really matter. I could really care less because I'm not running around being a fake version of myself. I am being a truthful, honest person of myself. I'm being authentic. I know I fucked up. And I already tried to apologize to you. If that's not good enough, I don't know what is. Because it's something inside of you that needs to be fixed. So, let's see what else we got here. Gemini. Now, there could definitely be some distorted things, some two-faced things, some gossip, some drama. There could definitely be some communication issues going on. And a lot of these things are going to be being exposed to. Pisces intuitive. You may even have a child that has a lot of the same gifts as you do, and they may be exposing certain things to you too. Or they might be exposing certain things about your family to you, or about what's been going on behind the scenes, or why there's been so much fights, arguments, chaos, drama. For some of you, your child might be exposing some of the things that they did that were wrong. Libra, Aries. Some of the ways that they may have spread gossip, or some of the ways that they may have lied in some way. Some of them may be exposing some of those things that they're dealing with themselves as well. And part of it could have to do with whoever you are as a person, and why they could have been ashamed of who you were, or why they could have tried to run from who they are. But now they're wanting to accept it because they see not only the shadow sides of you, but also the light sides of you. Somebody may be ready to step up into a leadership role after being very petty or very negative. There's justice coming in. Karma's going to be balancing the scales, and there's going to be a lot of good things coming into your life here. Z. There's going to be good things being exposed as much as some negative things. P, Y, Pyre. R, P, Y, L. Somebody could have been being accused of being evil. Somebody could have been trying to convince others that you were evil in some way. B, K, E, the key. You're going to be finding the key. For some of you, you're going to be getting the key to something that is yours, something that others tried to hide from you or take from you, something that others tried to keep from being yours. Pry it from my cold, dead hands. Some of you, your protective nature, your loving nature is going to be being exposed. How much you care for those that are under your wing is going to be being exposed. Somebody may have the key to free you in some sort of situation as well. Somebody might actually have some key information that is going to bring justice to a situation, and somebody might be getting ready to expose it. There might actually be an attorney as well that is getting ready to come forward with knowledge, information, or some things that have been missing in certain situations. Somebody may actually be getting ready to get in serious trouble for things that they've done. Glee, singing in the shower. Sue. Somebody might actually be getting ready to sue someone, especially if there's people in positions of power or authority that have abused that position of power and authority, or have stolen from somebody, or have slurred or slandered someone, or have set someone up. Cancer, imagination. Somebody could have been trying to say that you were crazy, that you had a big imagination, that you were mentally unstable in some way, and they are being proven wrong, and you are being proven right. All of your fantastical stories that everybody thought were a bunch of bullshit are getting proven right, and everything's going to be getting ready to be exposed and brought out into the open. SFHQ. Quetzalcoatl again is coming to mind. Somebody may want to look into the Mayans. QAZ. Cannibalism is something that is coming in as well. Kubrick, club, clear, play, pray, have, chalk, shake, a shakeup is coming. Shakti, gray, what's that thing with that painting with that guy that ages with the painting? I can't remember. Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray could be something important for you guys as well. My Sister's Keeper. That was a really good movie. Somebody's sickness could be getting exposed to. Safer. I'm safer here with you. Somebody may actually feel like they are safer with you, and they could have denied you, or they could have stayed away from you, or they could have acted like you were a dangerous person to know or be around, but now they're going to be changing sides and feeling like they are safer with you. Hecate. Learn, grow, laugh, love, enjoyment. Leak. There's a leak. Information's going to be being leaked. Bleak. You could feel like the future's kind of bleak. You could be losing some of your hope or some of your faith, but don't. Because as these things play out, your faith is going to grow, your hope is going to grow, and everything's going to turn around in your favor. Sly guy. Free. Freya. She didn't set the fire. We didn't start the fire. Fair. Like F-A-R-E. Somebody may have to pay a fare. Somebody may have to actually pay you for what they've taken. Somebody may have to, yeah, there could definitely be some financial compensation coming your way. Family. Fallout. Failure. Zap. Zales. There could be jewelry involved in some way too. Priya. Hair. Hear. Can you hear what I hear, what I hear, what I hear? Can you see what I see, what I see? So a lot of the things that you have been seeing or hearing, a lot of the things that you've been being warned about, a lot of the things that people did not believe you about, or a lot of the things that have been going on in the background are getting ready to be exposed, and you are getting ready to be vindicated. Release your blocks. Work through your feelings. Be real. Take a reality check. and push through any insecurities to detoxify yourself and your life. Know that you can do it. Pose brave flight. You will not let fear stop you this time. The black cat, lost magic, atonement, rebalance. So you may feel like you may have lost some of your gifts as well, but you're going to be gaining those gifts back, and they're going to be multiplied because you've worked hard to balance the scales, and you've worked hard to really atone for anything that's gone on in the past. And there's somebody else who may be losing their gifts, or who may have lost their gifts, who is going to be coming back into these gifts very fully because they have atoned. And it's going to be time to release that judgment and to accept them and love them. Wolf Moon, I will watch over you. I'll be your protector. Protector. Really good song. Can't remember who sings it. And once again, they are very strong with that release your blocks crap. Go deeper. Reflect on your insecurities. Go deeper. What is it that you are not seeing inside of yourself? What is it that you need to expose to yourself? Cool your emotions. There may be something to do with your emotions and how high strung you are, or how anxious you get, or how fearful you get, or how angry you get in certain situations. What are your triggers, and why are they your triggers? And how can you stop them from being your triggers? How can you remain at peace no matter what's going on outside yourself? Because that peace is inside you. It's not outside of you. So those are things that are going to be being exposed to you as well, is how you can level up within yourself, and how you can handle situations in a different way, and how you may not have handled situations in the past to the best of your abilities, but how you are going to be able to do that from now on because you've learned. Just like when other people haven't in the past handled the best situations the best, but have learned and grown. Frog Princess, heed wise counsel and listen. The Fairy Bee, my life is sweet. Your life is sweet exactly as it is. 76. So that's what I have for today's reading. Thank you guys so much for whatever support you send this way. Thank you for the likes and the shares. If you haven't done that yet, remember to do that before you leave. Thank you for the super chat stickers and the donations, tips. Thank you for the subscribes, the comments, everything that you guys do to support my channel or the work that I do. I really appreciate you guys so much. And thank you as well to our guides, our ancestors, our angels, our beautiful mother and father, our divine leaders, and I really hope you guys have a beautiful night or day. Thank you, beautiful. Whatever it happens to be when you're watching, wherever you are. And I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.